Hello friends, again this is LiterMort, the channel of literature and love. My name is Nadezhda Bugayeva, I'm a philologist, a literary critic, poet, novel writer and a teacher, of course, of Russian language and Russian literature and of English language. These days it's not very easy to go online into YouTube, and whoever thinks it's very easy to use YouTube these days, that one probably lacks skills of thinking. A long time ago, LiterMort announced a new season of Villevology, VV studies. For decades, VV has been and is a modern poet, not only a songwriter, not only a composer, not only a rock star or a showmaker. Yeah, it's being a poet, being a creator of music and literature is something far, far more than only show making. Clowns can make shows. Literature, music, art is something that will stay for, let me tell you, not decades, thousands of years after VV is no more with us. While I'm still on, I will tell you a few reasons why the Neon Noir, which was released in 2023 by VV, is the best album in VV's career. There have been many albums. This is the only solo project of VV's. This is the highest he has ever reached in the field, not only of show making. And I must admit that he has reached something in the field of show making, but in music and in poetry. Why is Neon Noir the best album in VV's career? Here are the reasons. First of all, VV gathered together all the main motives from all he has ever created in his life. He kind of grasped the very essence of his own art. There's a song written 2 decades ago that is The Path, which is probably, from maybe literary point of view, the most important song or a poem VV has ever written. First of all, it's not a love song, not a love poem. Probably it's the most bluntly spoken out reasons and motives of the poetic personality behind the poetry. While walking the path for decades, any poet is risking to lose the way, lose their own true self, lose their heart in the darkness, and become somebody else, not completely that very person that poet really is. After many decades of love metal, VV finally has got the grasp of that very own self of his. That is the Neon Noir. He kind of shed and left it behind what wasn't his, and he kept what was his true self. What about number 2, the pathos and lyricism in the Neon Noir? VV has mostly got rid of the dynamic and aggressive pathos of the rock music, and he has gained the true poetic lyricism, which is essential for a poem to be a genuine piece of art. The main motives are 2, which is irony and gentle optimism. And this combination of gentle optimism and irony, nowadays, it's very true to the time, and kind of VV has got 10 out of 10. Looking love up at times when everything is looking down. Isn't it brave? The next point is the lexical choice, more refined than ever and versatile at the same time. VV has always been torn between the complexity, the gentle manner of constructing words together, and the simplicity, which he thinks is the truest. Like, to be simple and yet to be so complex. And finally he has found his way along the path of this method. Next is the composition. Every song has a composition of its own, and the Neon Noir as an album is a single unit. Of course, all the previous albums also had that composition of their own. They always started and they ended on special motives, on special mood. Usually the final song was more sentimental, sometimes sad. In the Neon Noir, all the songs bound together, they have the composition of their own, and they start and they end in a very special manner which constructs the meta text. Beyond the songs being songs, they are interconnected, not only within the Neon Noir, but they have very strong ties with all the previous albums of VV's, with whatever he has created throughout his life. It means it's kind of Mount Everest, and now he's standing on the very top of it and kind of grasping the art of his. Of exceptional importance is the theme of colors in the Neon Noir. First of all, the color is already mentioned in the title of the album, and the colors are very specific in the album. There is one more point to it, one more feature, that correspondence of the Neon Noir colors with the color system in the Kalevala, which is the most prominent epic folklore of Finland. That is the same number of colors, that is blue, red, and black. White is the light. The light is above all, always. The color system of the Kalevala and of the Neon Noir, they have some interreferences, which again lets the Neon Noir be added to the bulk of the major Finnish literature, of the Finnish art created by the predecessors of VV. That is something great, that when you can allow yourself not only to be a rock star, not only make shows and play your rock music, but also you have the pleasure of being someone who continues Kalevala in the 21st century. This is something to be saluted. At this point, I can summarize that with the Neon Noir of his, VV is continuing the best traditions of his national literature and folklore. The next point is about VV's style. The style of the poet is of a great importance, because the lyrical personality within the imaginary world of the poetry, it's constructed from the image of the poet themselves. And by the style VV is wearing, while on stage, while in front of the cameras, it contributes to the poetic field of the Neon Noir. It contributes to the imaginary style which exists within the art. We don't want it to be a big lie, right? When we're listening to songs, when we're imagining somebody to be in the center of the poetic system, and then when we meet the poet, we can hardly believe our eyes that no, it's somebody else. We've been lied to. This is not the persona from the poetry, but VV is making his best to be that very true persona from the poetry of his. He's trying to be as true to the audience as he can. Of course, it takes some efforts, but he's taking those. He has refined his style and actually, again, grasped the very essence of that style of his. He hasn't changed it radically. He has preferred to lose what wasn't his, and nowadays his style is more aristocratic, more elegant, well-spoken, well-mannered. Elegant is the image which is associated with the brand name VV. And it means something, especially today, especially in the field of the rock music. My God, it's the newest, the most unexpectedly spoken word in the rock music. It's not some, man looking like bears on the stage, which used to be associated with the rock music. Rebellious personality which doesn't look well, doesn't smell well, and probably cannot speak coherently. This is over now. And finally, those people who do love cultured manners, who love classical culture, classical literature, classical music, they finally can share something from the rock music. They can enjoy it. And the same refers to the team of VVs. My God, it's a group of elegant men on the stage. You just finally can rest your eyes on a person with a guitar, unlike any time before. This is rejoice of the heart. Thank you. We had great pleasure in Greece, shaking hands with VV's team, very much gentlemanly. It was a pleasure of communication people couldn't afford in the times of the classic rock. Probably it will be the next step of elegance when, while listening to a VV in a concert hall, we will be allowed to sit maybe in the armchairs because, okay, we can endure much, but not the most. Unlike the previous era of the rock stars, of the rock musicians, VV is not a destroyer, he's a constructor. This is something very new for the rock culture, because the classical rock culture of the 20th century was about the rebellion, destroying the traditional norms and kind of spitting into the faces of the higher class. This is something else in the 21st century. This is a step up, looking not only love up, but looking culture up. This is something our world is really in need of. And finally, why is Neon Noir so good as a literary text? Why is it so good as a topping on the cake of VV's art? Because it constructs a meta text. As I said, VV is a constructor. His art is constructive, not destroying, as if all the text that has ever been created by VV is constructed around the Neon Noir, like a little or maybe not so little mandala of his, and the Neon Noir is now in the center. What is a meta text? Why is a meta text better than just a text? Actually, an author is a linguistic personality within the text. He is organizing the space of his poetic text. He kind of exists in the fifth dimension from where he can reach to any text of his, written in any previous decade. This is what VV is doing, what he has already done. The author's metatextual presence is felt at every stage of the text construction, in the poetry, in the composition, in the musical pathos, lyricism, everywhere. The main metatextual threads in the text are intratextual units and intramusical units. It means that you can look at the love metal of VV's through the decades, from the 90s of the 20th century and up to now. And you will see the continuation of the motives, their development, as if like little rosebuds appeared some time ago and now they're in bloom. Maybe some of them are sick, maybe not. Thus, the poetry is the manifestation of the poet's individual world perception. But VV doesn't only contribute to our understanding of his world perception. He contributes to the Finnish poetic culture, to the Finnish poetic picture of the world. Probably one day it will become a part of Finnish classical poetry. It's already on the path.